Hello again, everyone. This is Joe Henches with Beyond the Chart, and this is another technical analysis review of a stock. This one is Twitter. I've got this posted on my education page on my website also. Let's take a look at Twitter. This is the entire trading of Twitter since November 2013. It hasn't even been 10 months. I guess we're 9 months into this thing. As best as I can determine, I'm not really sure what's going on with an Elliott wave. I'll just let you know to begin with. We thought we had 5 waves up and thought we were getting maybe a pullback, but when it went below the original starting here, then it was like, okay, we're not in an uptrend, and it continued its downtrend. But now, after we've had several waves down, this almost looks like 5 waves down to me. We're getting this move here, okay? So it's breaking this trend line. Let me get rid of that, and let me go to this real quick. See this trend line here? Okay, so it broke this trend line. Now we've rallied up, and the other thing I want to point out, go back to my mouse, get this real quick. If you look at the low over here, the low back in November, that first month trading, well, okay, it broke down through that low right in here. Now it's pushed back up above that low. So this should have been pretty solid resistance. So the buying has become pretty strong. The 10 broke above the 21, got a nice little short-term, on a short-term basis, nice trending action. Now we got the 21 above the 55. That's a 55-day simple. That's a 21-day simple. And this is a 10-day exponential. Okay, kind of my trigger line. I like to watch to see when we get a couple closes above the 10, it has a tendency to ride. You get a couple closes below the 10, it has a tendency to ride to the downside. Now, it's a little more complicated than that, but that's 40,000 foot perspective on it. All right, so now we've got the 21 above the 55. And if you draw another trend line across the highs here and here, this is a possible head and shoulders. Let me look at this, okay? We're looking at possible shoulder and a head and a possible shoulder. Now, so then it would, do this kind of thing. And it would go the length of the distance here and do that up, here. So maybe come back up and test, up 65 and close this gap that you see, this big gap that's left open from this down move. It's just something to think about. Okay, right now, of course, we got a lot of work to do before that's the case. We've pulled back down below the 10. We're not turning yet, so we need to get this to turn up. That's something to watch. The other thing to look at is, just so that you realize, is that we still have lower highs and lower lows. Okay, so when it rallied, it's pulled down, it rallied, it has not gone to a higher high yet. So we do need to have this peak taken out, but I'll be trying to get on board before that happens if we start to get a turn in here, just because I like the action that's going on, and it could be interesting to see if we get this little head and shoulders to pop, we get this trend line to break. It could move pretty quickly. Okay, the other thing I want to point out is when you look at the RSI, this is a 10-day RSI, okay? So you notice how I drew a trend line across the top here, and it actually broke it on this day, indicating that a reversal was happening. Well, that was on this day down here. Let me go, that's June 5th. So on June 5th, we got a signal on the RSI that it was breaking. Well, it didn't actually break it on the price to back up here on June 16th. So a lot of times when you're working with the RSI, you can get a little bit of a heads up as an early indication of something that's happening and something that's turning. So that's just something to think about. All right, that's it on Twitter, and we'll see how she plays out. Thanks for stopping by. Share this on the video if you like it. Subscribe, and share this on social media buttons.